My name is Eriyon Texan, but some people call me Bubbles. People call me Bubbles, I guess, because of my personality, just outspoken, positive, just kind of always putting people in a giddy kind of mood. So it just kind of is stuck. I was born and raised in Tulsa, Oklahoma, pretty much lived out north my whole life. I was a football trainer for 4 years at the Booker T. Washington High School. I worked my butt off to, make things happen, do what I have to do to make sure my guys were okay. Them was my sons. I had some sons and I'd be like, yep, that's my son, that's my son. Me wanting to join, I just wanted to be a part of a team. I wanted to be a part of a family. When I was young, just life growing up was, it wasn't always bad. I remember many good moments, just fun being a kid, but it wasn't always the most stable. From the time I was probably about, 5 years old to the age of 16, we had moved like 14 times. My mom was definitely one of those people, like when it came to men, they were very much in and out the house. I think I was 8 years old the first time she told me about sex and exactly what it was, and it's because I caught her with the man in the living room. So it was all in my face. I saw it all. That year we moved to Houston. When I was around 6 years old, she met this man, which is my sister's dad. He was very abusive. He pulled us away, isolated us from our family. I had no power to do anything. When I saw him hitting her, when he hit me, I just didn't feel safe. I didn't feel safe. And it always hurts me to think we stayed for a year. All of the beating, all of the abusiveness, it started maybe the first day we were there. And she stayed. I was 5 years old, turning 6 down there. Came back to Tulsa, turned 7. I feel like that was probably the start of feeling helpless and not safe. There was a time when my mom got into opioids, taking pills. Sometimes she would pass out and, be asleep for hours. All the responsibility was on me to take care of my little sister. It was bathe her, get food ready. And I can remember it being a responsibility of mine for a while to actually get everybody up so we could just even make it to school on time to make it out the house. I was a very angry kid. I didn't know what to do with all those emotions. I started self-harming around 12 years old. At the time, I just remember making that connection with wanting to feel pain anywhere else besides inside where it couldn't be reached. Every time I went, it was like I was the bad guy. My mom very much painted that picture, and it was like nobody saw that, the things that I was doing was a result of something completely different that they couldn't see. So when they weren't hearing me, when they weren't seeing me, the pain I was in, that makes you feel some type of angry, you feel valueless. I actually started cutting more after the first time because I started really putting my pain into cutting because nothing changed. It only heightened what I was already doing coping-wise that was wrong. I thought it was better to just keep everything to myself than speak what wasn't being heard anyway. But I attempted suicide. And I just remember crying and cutting, and I didn't even realize how deep I was cutting. I was almost like I was blind to it, just in a rage of pain, blind to it. And I was just like, what did I do? I ended up going to Youth Services of Tulsa, known as YST. It was definitely a place of growth for me. I didn't know where I would end up after YST offered a transitional living program starting at the age of 17, which I fit perfectly. I was scared. I'd never been on my own before. This is when I started to actually branch out towards the faculty and the teachers more at my school. I let them know pretty much everything that was going on up until that point. I had teachers who I could talk to. That was the best part of my life. There were teachers who played a crucial role in why I am who I am today. Miss Bull, I had her in middle school, and she ended up working, becoming a faculty at Booker T. So I had somebody who knew me very well. That was my woman. Miss Arterberry, who was the dean. I was scared of that woman. I thought she was after me for dress code. But when I finally, met her and got to know her, I'm like, okay, this is a bad mama. And she only wishes the best, but she gonna tell you how it is as well. They don't play. Mr. Cochran, he very much gave me confidence. He was like, you shine bright, you don't shrink for anybody. You step out, you be that light, and you work it. And Mr. Rooney was the guy that was like, hey, if something's going on, call me. I had my other teacher, Amy Moore, and she just knew when things weren't right with me as well. She would pull me to the side after class and just talk to me. She just felt safe. There was something about her spirit that I knew I could just share anything with her, and I still have breakfast, lunch with her, and meet with her to this day. I loved Dr. Woolridge. She was the principal of the high school. She was always making sure all her kids were okay. She would always check in with me. Like, even if I didn't, she's a principal of an entire school of 1,000 students, but she definitely found the time, even if it was 3 minutes. She made sure to extend her hand with getting stuff for me paid for school, helping me get a yearbook. They just gifted me one that year. I didn't even have to pay for it, helping me get a ring. I mean, her heart was just so big, and she didn't wear it on her sleeve. She wasn't one of those people. You couldn't tell unless you really knew her, you really talked to her. And I did. Life is about experiences and, challenging yourself to become more than what you thought you could. And I feel like my teachers definitely planted that seed within me so I could bloom. So I could be a beautiful wildflower with nothing holding me back. And I do thank them for not even just getting me prepared for college, but getting me prepared for life. I can proudly say today that I'm a 21-year-old who finished college in 3 years. I'm proud of myself, and I am so grateful that I had role models to look up to when the ones who were given to me couldn't be what I needed. When there was a storm, when everything was foggy, when everything was confusion and disastrous chaos, school was the place where I felt safe, and I wasn't just someone that was undeserving. I wasn't unlovable. I wasn't conditional. I mattered. I had purpose, and they wanted to bloom me. They wanted to grow that part of me. They wanted me to just see what they had already saw that I didn't see in myself.